In this lecture, we'll be taking a look at the new structural tags that have been introduced in HTML5. The first one being the section tag. Now, the section tag basically represents a generic document or application section. If you take a look at the specification definition, it says the section element represents a generic section of document or application. A section in this context is a thematic grouping of content, typically with a heading. Sections could be chapters, introductions, product descriptions, etc. Next we have article. Now, article tag represents an independent piece of content of a document. For example, we can have a blog entry or newspaper article. The specification defines it as the article element represents a self-content composition in a document, page, application, or site, and that is intended to be independently distributable or reusable. Example, in RSS syndication feeds. This could be a forum post, a magazine, or newspaper article, a blog entry, a user-submitted comment, an interactive widget or gadget, or any other independent item of content. Then we have aside tag. Now, the aside element represents a section of a page that consists of content that is tangentially related to the content around the aside element, and which could be considered separate from that content. Such sections are often represented as sidebars in printed typography. So in summary, we can say that the aside tag represents a piece of content that is only slightly related to the rest of the page. Then we have the header tag. This tag represents the header of a section. The specification defines it as the header element represents a group of introductory or navigational aids. A header element is intended to usually contain the section's heading, for instance h1 to h6 element, or an h-group element, but this is not required. The header element can also be used to wrap a section's table of contents, a search form, or any relevant logos. Then we have h-group tag. The h-group element represents the heading of a section. The element is used to group a set of h1 to h6 elements when the heading has multiple levels, such as subheadings, alternative titles, or taglines. Then we have the footer tag. The footer element represents a footer for its nearest ancestor, sectioning content or sectioning root element. A footer typically contains information about its section, such as author, links to related documents, copyright data, etc. And finally, we have nav tag as structural enhancement. The nav element represents a section of a page that links to other pages or to parts within the page, a section with navigation links. So basically, this tag represents a section of the document intended for navigation purposes. In the next lecture, we'll be taking a look at the new content tags that have been introduced in HTML5.